Hello, everyone. Here I am. Oh, we already got a couple people watching. Please say hi, everybody. And so I know that you guys can hear me and all is well. And who y'all are. Ooh, that was my Florida coming out. Who y'all are. And let me put the ticker up. So start firing the questions. I'm looking forward to it. This is my this is my therapy. Let me see. Comments. It would help if I click comments, huh? So you guys can tell I'm still getting used to doing this on my own. Laura, hey, handsome. Woo, shooting right out with a compliment. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful. Laureen Menz. Hello, Heather. Hi. Laura's saying hi to everybody. Everybody. Cool. Thank you, guys. So I'm assuming that you can hear me okay. And if you cannot, you will let me know. And fire your questions away until I see one. I will start babbling as I usually do. So I thought I would start tonight because in a way that is, I don't know, unusual a little bit for me. Somebody asked me a question, a friend asked me a question, I think it was yesterday, and it really got me thinking, which was really nice. It's just nice to be in community, and when you have friends that you can trust and that can throw things at you, and it kind of gets you thinking. And because that's often how I get deeper clarity in my own life. You know, it's when somebody asks a question, then I kind of go back in my own time and contemplate it. It's helpful. So the question basically was, because they're a friend of mine, I opened up and shared some of the stuff that I was going through. And moving to a new country, it has its ups and downs. Like I think a lot of things are like this. Even if you know it's right, it doesn't mean that it's all going to be roses. So I know moving here was right. I know the benefits, the beaches, the nature, the people, all the reasons I moved here, those are still in effect. And I'm still happy with my decision. But like many things, when you like my shirt, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, this is my book, Down to Earth. So, yeah, it's, like many things, there's a learning process involved. I'm on my own journey here. And if I'm going to make a big life transition, the chances of there being growth that are tied in with that are pretty strong. And it's like that with all of us. I mean, if we're making a big life change, there's going to be growth. I don't know how to phrase this in a question at the moment, but well, I'm gonna go with this, and then I'm gonna check in with Laura's question a little bit as she finishes it, I believe. So yeah, I'll just kind of finish my thought on this. So yeah, there's growth in a lot of life changes, and I'm stretching myself. So there's growth for me to have here, and it's not always comfortable. And the plus I leaned into some of the drama that's going on in the US recently. I was trying to get people to look at things from a broader perspective and just question things, not really tell anybody what to believe, or one thing was wrong and one thing was right. But it kind of turned into that, which oftentimes on Facebook it does, so whatever. It's all good. But so I had some of that energy I was caught up in. And then, being here, it's like, it's new for me. I never traveled internationally. Now I'm living internationally. So there are fears that come up. There are, when you travel, especially when you've traveled a lot, it's often very helpful to push you into the present moment, because you don't know what to do, or it's not habitual. A lot of times if you're going to eat, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to grab something. Like, well, first you got to find out where the restaurant is. Then you got to figure out how to get there. Or, a lot of things that we take for granted in our everyday lives we can't take them for granted. Lots of little things. Don't drink the water. Okay, well, how am I going to brush my teeth? Like just all these little things that we just don't even think about, like, now are on your plate. So it can help push you into the present moment. I've kind of been the one in control of my life for my whole life, pretty much. And so I've kind of been doing things my way for a long time, and I haven't traveled a lot. So this is new to me, even though I was here for a couple months already. It's, I have to get used to things, and I'm stretching myself and I'm growing, and it's not always comfortable. And you add that with me leaning into some drama on Facebook, and you add that into the collective energy that's going on right now. I do believe we're in the middle of a spiritual shift, and the energy is rising. I mean, we are smack dab in the middle of it, man. And this is why all this controversy is happening, and all the energy swirling around. And if you've been a little more emotional lately and you get knocked around a little bit, it's happening to a lot of people right now, me included. So, I have to ground, and I have to work through things, and I have to stretch. And it's, like I said, it's not always comfortable. So, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and it's easy to go, geez, how come I feel like this? I've done so much work, and slide into that victim mode a little bit. And, all that stuff, it still bounces around in and out. It's just, I don't take it so seriously. I don't stay there that long. It's, sometimes I need to get stuff off my chest, and it sounds like, oh man, he's messed up, and it's like, no, it's just, sometimes I have thoughts, and it's not always easy. And so I just kind of wanted to share that, because I believe in being authentic, and I want people to have a realistic outlook on what living spiritually is. It doesn't mean you never get knocked around. It doesn't mean that you don't have a myriad of emotions to experience as you go through life. It's just, you don't get sucked in so deeply. You don't take it so seriously. And you get through quicker, and it's much easier. It's way better than living the other way. Trust me. And then, from a life coaching perspective, there's a few reasons why I know that I'm supposed to be a life coach. And one of the reasons is because and I've said this many times, I gain energy while I'm doing it. I get excited. I get energized. I feel alive. I feel peace. I feel a flow of energy going through me when I'm doing it. All that stuff. Like, that's how I know that I'm supposed to be doing it. And another thing that happens when I'm going through stuff is, no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, I can always life coach. This is why I was just a little bit extra excited to hop on tonight, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be getting out of my stuff, because as I'm sitting in it, that's when I'm really feeling it. But as soon as I start working, and this is a little bit different, but more so when I'm working one-on-one with somebody, I just lock into their energy. And so I'm completely out of mine. So no matter what is going on in my life over the last 8 or 9 years or whatever, I have never had a problem working with a client. In fact, I look forward to it. Like I've gone through periods where I actually fell into the crap and I was really depressed and going through a very difficult time. And I would look forward to working with my clients, because those were the only respites that I had, pretty much, because I was in it. And so working with the clients was when I could lock onto their energy, and I didn't feel all that, I wasn't caught up into my own crap, and I could just ride the stuff, lean into somebody else's energy and ride them, ride that wave of energy and help somebody else, and this is not a new concept. In recovery, they teach that when all else fails, go help somebody. They teach that. So because it gets you out of your stuff and into somebody else's reality, and with the focus of helping, because it's so healing to do that, So yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So people kind of, because we preach happiness and joy and peace and love and all this stuff. And yeah, of course that's how we want to live, but it's not always like that. Hi, Lisa. It's not always like that. We have our ups and downs still. They're just not as bad. And, I don't know if everybody's like this, but for me, fortunately, if I am off, I can still work with people, which is gigantic benefit. You know what I mean? Okay, so I guess that's it, unless anybody else has any comments on it. But I see that Laura popped up the question that I saw the post. Okay, so I'm going to put this up. Yeah, she was trying to send this a couple minutes ago when I started babbling. But then, yes. So she saw the post on my page, which gave her the last little push she needed to start being more open to what's happening there in the US. Now I'm questioning everything news-wise. It's weird to feel like I don't know what I can believe anymore. It's just uncomfortable and unsettling. Can you find a question in that? Yes. Yes, I could definitely find a question in that. And I think it's a great question. It's what it is. So in spirituality, we hear this is not a new concept. We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. There's a fairly famous spiritual perspective that says, the more I understand, the less I know. So in spirituality, this is normal. Like you kind of have to get comfortable not controlling things, not thinking you have control over things, not thinking the 100% truth to everything. Like in spirituality, that is spirituality. So I'm kind of used to it. So this was kind of an easy place for me to get to in the outside world, because I've kind of integrated my spirituality into the rest of my life, and as I mentioned earlier, I still have some growth to do, but as a general rule. So like it's basically the same thing. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like it's okay not to know. I think this is a big crux of where we are right now. I believe this is why people are latching onto belief systems so tightly, because foundationally, people aren't used to living spiritually. So like I said, I said that living spiritually is being comfortable not knowing, right? Well, everything is spiritual. Like the real world is spiritual too. It's not like we have spiritual life and human life with different rules. It is all spiritual rules trump everything. So you can take the spiritual rules and bring them into the human world, and they still work because they work everywhere, all the time, always. So this is what I did. I just brought my spirit, the way I look at spirituality, into the human world. And it really wasn't that big of a leap for me because I've done it quite a bit. But if you're trying to do it right now with this big scenario that's all noisy and emotional right now, yeah, it's going to be a little unsettling. So, and it's normal, it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to be like, oh, geez, this feels weird that I don't know what I can believe. Yeah, of course it's going to feel weird. It's new, So it's okay to feel like that, though. That's the point. And so what I was starting to say earlier, and I felt I needed to finish that. What I believe one of the reasons that there's so much controversy right now, I believe, is because people feel more comfortable when they can latch onto something as the truth. It's because it's very unnatural. Well, it's natural, but the way people, I don't even know what frickin' terms to use. The way normal people, or the way most people live lives, is not through spiritual principles. So most people are not okay not knowing. Most people are still functioning like they need to know, that they need to control things. So when they get enough evidence one way or another to latch onto something and to feel kind of comfortable that that's the actual truth, that's, they know that's what's really going on. When they start feeling comfortable with that, Faith's going nuts. Hey, Faith, lay down. Good girl. So when they get enough evidence to latch onto a belief system, then they will defend that with everything, because it's the only thing that makes them feel safe. It's the only thing that prevents them from feeling uncomfortable and unsettling and weird. Latching onto something and going, oh, this is the truth. This is what I can latch onto. And I'm right here, and I've looked into it, and I believe that I'm right. So therefore, and I mean, I'm a good person. Everybody thinks they're a good person. And quite honestly, most people are. Their intentions are good. So I go, I'm a good person. I looked into it. I believe this to be true. I latched onto it. It's true. So therefore, I feel good about myself because I'm a good person. I don't feel weird because I understand what's going on. And I believe I do. I've locked on to this being the truth. And okay, cool. I'm a good person, and this is the truth. Oh, okay, good. Now I can relax. That's where our sense of comfort comes from. It's not permanent. It won't last. It's not even true. But we feel comfortable as long as we've got that, and then we'll defend it. And then the other side is feeling the same way. They happen to be exposed to something along the way where they think that they are looking at the truth. And as soon as they got enough to believe in that, they latched onto it. And then when they got exposed to anything other than that, they pushed it away and said, no, that's lies. And then whenever they got exposed to something to reinforce it, they pulled that in to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. That's their sense of identity. So that's what they locked on. And for the most part, we have two groups of people, one over here and one over here, and they both think that they're right, and they both think that the other side is crazy. So, what I was attempting to do, which some people liked, and for some people it went over like a fart in church, I was trying to just say, hey, there's another way. like loosely. And like Janice says, wear the world like a loose garment. Yeah, it's just like I'm not locked onto anything. I'm not, and perhaps my timing was wrong, but like I was kind of guided to do it. Like I believe that. I mean, because I don't usually get into this stuff, and when I started getting these urges to post, I was like, why? Like, I don't want to post this stuff. I don't want to lean in. And it was like, nah, Glenn, you kind of have to just do it. So then I do it. And then I start getting remarks and messages going like about Trump. And I'm like, why are people talking about Trump? And they're going like, well, Trump got censored and you're talking about censorship. I'm like, I didn't even know Trump got censored. I didn't know he got banned from social media when I put my posts up. I didn't even know that because I don't follow all of this stuff because I'm holding it loosely. And I'm not trying to come to a conclusion. I mean, to be honest with you, well, I'll just say it. I mean, to be honest with you, if you're looking at Trump and Hillary Clinton or Trump and Biden as your two choices to run what a lot of people think is the most powerful or the greatest country on earth, it's fucking absurd is what it is. It's fucking absurd. So like, I mean, that's ridiculous. Neither one of them are good people. And if you think that they are, God bless you. God bless you. Look into things. So I wasn't trying to defend anybody. What I was saying is that there's stuff going on and I don't trust. So like me personally, I got censored from a Cambo thing, a Cambo post, which is frog medicine. And it's to boost your immune system. Well, they banned Cambo stuff at the beginning of COVID. They censored it and I couldn't post it. I couldn't even send it in a messenger on Facebook. I had to email it. So like red flags went up. And then somebody that did spiritual movies that I know came out with a spiritual something about COVID. And I was amazed at how quickly they pulled it because it wasn't saying what the WHO and the CDC wanted you to hear. And I'm going like, this is amazing. The censorship going on. As soon as anybody says anything other than like the powers that be, what they determine is right, they pull it. That's insanity. This is propaganda. This is like being in a concentration camp where they pipe in information that they want to brainwash you with. Like, I was like, this is unbelievable that they're doing this stuff. And then they're saying that, they discredit things. So, I'm trying to do a little bit of homework on some of this stuff. So I go, oh, okay, why are they saying that this is a lie? So I search and they go, oh, this person's a meathead. And the doctors that they talk to were idiots and they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm like, geez, they seemed credible. The doctors seemed like they didn't have any agenda but other than to help people. And the filmmaker I know to be living a spiritual life and all this. Geez, why? And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Since I'm questioning everything, like, wait a minute. Like, who is discrediting these people? Like, let's take it one step further. I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm going, hey, maybe this spiritual guy is a nut job. I don't freaking know. He seemed okay with his other spiritual stuff that I really enjoyed and the people that he's associated with. But how do I know? I'll search him. So I search him and I read and they're like, yeah, nut job, nut job, nut job. And I'm like, well, what? Well, who is saying he's a nut job? Just because I read it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. And I'm thinking, like, one thing that I do well, I think, because of living a very dysfunctional life, I can think like a dysfunctional person really well because I was one for a long time. I was very manipulative. I was very, dysfunctional. I had bad intentions a lot of times. So I know what you need to think and what you need to do that. So if I'm sitting there going, I want people to think the way I want them to think, what are the two things I'm going to do? One, I'm going to make sure they're exposed to as much of the way that I want them to think as possible. And the other thing that I'm going to do is make sure I discredit the ways that they shouldn't be thinking. It's not a one-part thing. It's a two-part thing. You pump up your side and you pull off and discredit the other side. So when people, when I talk to people and they go, oh, well, and I go, well, this person, I don't know, because this person said this and it kind of seemed like a good thing. And they go, no, they're discredited. Yeah. Who discredited them? Who? Well, I read on the internet that they're an idiot, and this doctor was pissed off because they got fired from a job. Right. Okay. So somebody trying to discredit somebody probably would say those exact things, don't you think? I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just keeping an open mind. And then I start following the money. You want to find out the truth about something? Follow the money, because that's what runs this entire world. Power and money. This is why the world is all messed up, is because those are the driving forces in our world. So if you want to follow the money, I start following the money and I go, oh, ivermectin is not used in the United States and some of the other countries, but it's used in the smaller countries effectively. Whole bunch of doctors from around the world, one representing them, went on and said, this stuff's a miracle drug and I'm going to quit being a doctor because if you don't use it, then needless people are dying. So, well, we'll just discredit them. We'll just go, yeah, no, we really haven't done any long-term studies. You haven't done any long-term studies. It's an existing medicine that's been on the radar since April. The CDC commented on it last April. Why are you not studying it? Why are the other countries using it effectively? Doctors are saying that you should use it, but you're not studying it? Why? And they're so good at this, they just go, oh, well, there's just no long-term studying. And everybody goes, oh, there's no long-term studying. Makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. It's been on you. There was remarks from the CDC from April saying that this was a possible benefit for COVID, and they haven't studied it since April. What are you waiting for? There's one reason, is because the money is in the patents. And they can't make a patent on an existing medicine. This is the type of stuff that I'm looking into. Teaching somebody how to boost their immune system with natural medicines, they ban it. Why? Because it doesn't scare you and it might actually work. And they can't make money off that. So they ban it. Ivermectin, an existing medicine, they can't make money off of it. So they ban it. So when I start seeing stuff like this, I start going, geez, there seems to be an agenda here. And it's big because they're all in cahoots, because who's banning it, who's discrediting it, and why are they doing it, and who's benefiting from it? Well, people making money are benefiting from it. Who's powerful enough to get Google and Facebook to pull stuff? They all have to be working together. Otherwise, they can't get this stuff pulled within 12 to 24 hours and discredited all at the same time. How would they accomplish that if they weren't all in together? So do you see how this stuff starts making sense? It's not conspiracy theories. And I can't believe I even have to say that, because now they have tainted the words conspiracy theory like it's a bad thing. Oh, that's conspiracy theories. When did a conspiracy theory be bad? Like Lincoln doesn't poo-poo at conspiracy theories. He's freaking dead because of one. Like, I mean, conspiracies happen all the time. They've happened throughout history, always. They've always happened throughout history, conspiracies. Now, all of a sudden, if you have a theory of something that might be going on, that could be a conspiracy, it's bullshit. It's conspiracy theory. Why? What isn't a conspiracy theory? Do you think the fact that when the governments had a choice to either keep Walmart open or all the mom and pop stores open, they chose Walmart? Do you think that that isn't a conspiracy? Do you think that that wasn't a bunch of people that make a shitload more money than you do making the decision and no concern over how your life got affected and all concerned about how much money they made? That's exactly how that decision was made. You know, this is why I question everything. And I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know if there's a new world order trying to come in and take over everything. And to be honest with you, I don't even really care, because at the end of this tirade that I just went off, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to come out the other side of this and we're going to be fine, because good always wins. And if we have to go through this and a new world order has to take place, and then we come in and with spirituality and we go, hey, no way, you're not going to do this. You're not going to, control us anymore. Then it'll happen then. Maybe we'll wake up before that and we'll be like, hey, you guys can't do this stuff to us anymore. We need a new way of living. A new way of being is coming into this world, whether they want it or not. And it might look scary looking at this stuff going, oh my God, these people have so much power. Now they're controlling all the media and the information and censorship. And this really looks scary and really looks ugly. Yeah, it does from an outside perspective. But what happens is we change through suffering often. We're trying to wake up. So I'm hoping we change through waking up, but we already are suffering quite a bit. So, but if negativity doesn't know when to stop, it doesn't know when to go, well, we've got $20 trillion in the bank and we control almost everything. Maybe we should just call it quits and good enough is good enough. That will never happen. They're addicted to more. So they will keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, taking more and more and more and more until the masses have had enough. And then we'll be like, no, that's not going to happen. And we'll regain control, which is fine. It can happen that way. So I always say this, the game is rigged in your favor. I'll let you know how it ends up. You win. So that's the other part that can let you, I think, relax a little bit is, it doesn't matter. And this is what I needed to remind myself after I got sucked into all the drama of that is like, Glenn, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter. Stop fighting for it. Because if I fight for this stuff, then I'm part of the problem. And that's what I started being. That's why I backed out. Is I started becoming part of the problem because I was getting frustrated and I was answering people's questions out of frustration, and the energy in which I was doing that was coming out. I wasn't being courteous and kind and loving to people. I was drilling them with answers as hard as I could. And that's just not the person that I want to be. And it's not how I choose to live. So I had to pull back. Love is the answer. It's always been the answer. It'll always be the answer. So it's not, energetically we're shifting. We're going to get there. It's more important for us to work on ourselves and be an example of living spiritually inside of ourselves and inside of our lives, treating other people the way that we should be treating them, with love and respect. If we just do that, we're good. That's the best thing we can do to speed up this shift and get through. Arguing with people that don't see it is not going to do it, because it's argument. It's negative energy. So they're in negative energy, and we think we're going to go in there and change their negative energy with positive energy. That's not what we're doing. We're bringing in argumentative, frustrating energy into an already frustrated person, and it's just expanding the problem. Everything's energy. If we just have to be the love. And I leaned into it for a few days, and that's all I could take because it's just not congruent with my vibration. I can't stay in that stuff long. I mean, that's it screwed me all up being in that negativity for a few days. So let's see. I'm just going to touch on this and then look at Sarah's. Not conspiracy theories, but try to explain ivermectin to people that aren't living a spiritual life. They look at me like I'm drinking Kool-Aid and you figure out they're going to get me back on track. Yeah. And it's, well, ivermectin, it's just, it's just a medicine. I mean, that's not even spiritual. It's just logic. It's like, doctors say it works. Other countries are using it. I took it. I was in the DR when I got COVID. Within 2 days, taking ivermectin, I felt better. I wasn't completely over it, but the hard part was 2 days. And then within 8 days, I was back working again. Was it just that? I don't flipping know. See, again, I don't know. But geez, like I don't give a crap if ivermectin is what they say it is or not. I don't care. I don't care if that's what got me better. Or if it's not what got me better. That's not the point. The point is to open our minds and to ask questions. It's to look at this stuff and question it and hold it loosely and relax and lean back. And then we'll have an idea what's going on. As soon as we latch on to one belief system, we dismiss everything else. And that's how we get closed-minded. That's all I was trying to do, is just open our minds so we're not so attached to one side or the other, because we're never going to hear anything like that. So just open up our minds a little bit and go, geez, maybe there's some other stuff going on here that's a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper. Geez, maybe, I don't know. Well, I'll just keep my eyes open and see if anything looks weird. And just walk through life like that. And then you go, oh yeah, maybe that. Oh, that kind of seems weird. But you don't latch onto it. And that's a much more, once you get comfortable not knowing, it's such a beautiful way to go through life. And you get along with like most people, because if somebody believes one thing or somebody believes the other thing, it's I don't have to defend a position because I don't have one. So I can get along with anybody if they, but I still have that edge, man. Hey, I had the edge growing up. I had it for 20 years as an alcoholic. I got an edge. If somebody comes at me, I usually, and starts asking questions or, pushing and being argumentative, I have a hard time backing down. I've never been good at backing down at anything. But that's, it is what it is. So Sarah, in the end, why do you feel like you were nudged to post? Well, I don't think that the universe or God uses us without us having something to benefit. So I think personally, I was nudged to post because there's some work I need to do. I need to be able to have these conversations without getting so frustrated. I think I have some work to do there. So personally, I think that's why I got nudged. And then collectively, I think the reason I got nudged is because I know from the comments, like a lot of the posted comments were negative, and I went back and forth with a lot of the people behind the scenes were very positive. Well, that's not true. Probably 50% of the comments were positive and 50% of them were negative. So I did get a fair amount of positive comments posted, but I got quite a few positive comments behind the scenes too, which from people who didn't want to post publicly. And I think every one of them, I said, I completely understand. It's probably a good idea. Posting publicly on Facebook very rarely accomplishes what you want. It too. Hey, Christopher. I love that, man. So yeah, so I think I was nudged to post collectively to one, give support to all of those people that were already kind of thinking this stuff, and to kind of say, hey guys, you're not crazy, hang in there, you know, just hold things loosely and hang in there. So I think that was one benefit of it, and I know from what I've seen from some people that it did actually open their mind. Some of the people that were not thinking like this, by the time I was done, said, "Oh, okay, I get what you're trying to say," and I'm sure other people that didn't say anything, some of them got it too. Which is fine. You don't have to comment to me. Like, this is your journey, all of you. So, it's not important whether you comment or not. It's just planting seeds. I think I needed to go out there and plant some seeds. And so over time, if people just keep their eyes open just a little bit more, and they see something and they go, wow, could that be true? And then they go, I don't know. I think I'll look into it. Oh, it's discredited. They're not going to go like, oh, it's discredited. No. Who's discrediting it? Can you trust them? From what I've seen, the information is coming from the media. I don't trust them. The government, I don't trust them. The major corporations, don't trust them. Big pharmacy, don't trust them. Like, every single one of those organizations have proven themselves to be liars and focused on money and power. Every single one of them. And they've proven it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then, so it's like that. And then I wonder, like, why I don't trust them. Like who, we don't think that people who write articles actually have control over whether that article is published or not, do we? I mean, we're beyond that, I hope. There's been enough movies made and enough, I mean, we have information from the 60s and 70s of stuff that's gone on. We have information from the 40s and 30s and the 20s and the 1800s of this stuff going on. So things have been controlled since the founding of our country. So, like, this is not a big stretch to think that maybe the government is lying. Of course it's lying. I mean, politician and lying is basically synonymous at this point. So when somebody says, like, well, yeah, I believe them because a politician said it, I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's what you're going to come at me with proof? It's true because a politician said it. Come on, work harder than that. It's true because I heard it on the media. It's not true because I read it was discredited on the internet. None of these, that's mostly what I heard, and not one of those things has anything to do with reality. It's like, there's no proof that whoever is saying or doing anything is actually credible. But people don't want to wrap their brain around that because it's very threatening to them to think that they don't know, which brings us right back to the beginning of the question. Like, well, I have to believe somebody. What do you want me to do? Not believe anybody? Yes, that's what I want you to do. I want you to not believe anybody until they prove themselves to be honest. That's what I would like. So until you find an honest source of information, I think you should trust nobody. None. That means don't form an opinion. That means stay open. That's what I think you should do. And the truth will bubble up. There's people speaking the truth. They're just being silenced. And somebody goes up and speaks the truth, and then they get pulled off the internet. Somebody else comes in, that has an agenda, discredits them. And then we go, geez, I don't know what to believe. I don't know. Maybe if we stood up and said, hey, guys, you can't continue censoring all the information. If something goes against what you think we should hear, you can't take it off. You can't just remove it. You can't do that. That's censorship. Like, you can't do that. There's no freedom in a society that has that. Like, start there. And then maybe we can start being exposed to different conversations. Maybe we could actually even have a couple people to have a debate on TV about these things. Maybe we could hold somebody accountable to actually answer the tough questions. But we can't, because anytime anybody brings up a tough question, they get dismissed. So this is why I want people to question things and ask things. It's the foundation of democracy. It's the foundation. We are losing our democracy. We are losing our freedom to ever discern what is actually true and what is actually not true, because we have no exposure to information. It's all being controlled. Like, once we lose that, then what? You know? And people are so locked on to having a particular president, they are willing to throw that right out the window. They're like, I don't give a crap. We need this guy as a president. The other guy was crazy. We need this guy. It's like, okay, fine. You know, you vote for that guy, try to get him in office, do all that stuff. But do we have to lose all of our freedoms in the process of getting that guy in office? We shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be one or the other here. Like, we should be able to keep our freedoms and elect who you want into an office. That's kind of what the United States is about, supposedly. But we are losing all of our freedoms, and nobody's even paying attention because they're too focused on getting a particular guy in office and a particular guy out of office. Or if you're for that guy, you're too busy trying to get him back into office, and you're trying to get the new guy out of office. And meanwhile, all the freedoms are being stripped and information is being controlled, and nobody's noticing. So, boy, I didn't know I was going to go off on all that, but I guess I had to. Felt good. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through the comments to see if there's anything else I should touch on. Oh yeah, there's a couple comments from Sarah about the science. Yeah, that's become a catchphrase. Oh, you don't believe the people of science? No, I don't believe the people who are controlling the people of science. That's what I don't believe, because they're being controlled. You know, I know people that are in the science industry, and it didn't start now. A lot of the science industry and a lot of the research that's funneled through colleges and all this stuff, that stuff is, they make money if they get published. And a lot of the workloads are really high and stuff, and they don't even care if it's true. It's not even, half the stuff that goes out isn't even fact checked. They don't even give a crap about it. It's just publish. And then we'll lean on that and go, the science said that. I'm telling you, when you start really looking into this stuff, everything's messed up. It's, you know, we have to understand that things have always been controlled by the rich and the powerful. And it's been getting more and more over the last 200 years. And guess where it is now? If you can look back in the 70s and see that the Vietnam War, you know, they're feeding us information that wasn't true, changing death tolls to boost morale and all this stuff, the Watergate stuff. You think that stuff was happening then? What do you think is happening now? That it got better? Do you think that there aren't covert operations where the United States goes in and kills people all over the world on a weekly basis, probably, and we don't know about it and nobody knows who did it? Like, this stuff is going on all over the place. It's, you know, it's been, enough stuff has been leaked. Enough people have come up and said, I did this. I saw this. I've I was a part of this. And half the time, we just dismiss them too. It's like, we're in a tough way, man. We are in a tough way in all over the world. And in this country specifically, we are the leaders in a lot of ways. And I think right now we're the leader in dysfunction. But we're the leader. You can look at that one of two ways. You can be like, oh, damn, that's us. Or, hey, at least we're the leader in something, hopefully change will come here first. If we suffer the most, if we're in the public eye the most and we explode and then change comes, hopefully we can lead the way for others to change. So all this stuff, guys, I'm starting to annoy myself, so I'm going to wrap it up. All this stuff, it is what it is. I mean, to me, it just makes common sense. I don't think that I've said stuff that is like, what? It can't be. Unless you've locked onto a belief system and you believe politicians and the media and other organizations that have proven to lie. If you believe them without questioning, then you're going to be listening to the stuff that I say and think it's ridiculous, which is fine. You have the right to your opinion, and I'm not going to argue any longer about it. You got it. This is my show, so I get to purge all this crap and get it off my chest. I think anybody that didn't like it, you can be fairly confident that I'm not going to be discussing it on here again, because it's just, like you said, I got the information out. I think that this was the end cap of what I needed to do. I got the information out that I have seen, I have experienced personally. I have a lot of other people around that have seen this stuff and worse, and personally experienced it. A lot of spiritual teachers are looking for other platforms and getting on other platforms because their numbers are dropping dramatically. They're setting up, they believe that they're being censored and they're not being exposed to as many people. And a lot of other spiritual teachers I know have mentioned that they have seen this stuff happening at a certain time, and they're all communicating, and they're saying that they're doing it. So, they won't be able to silence it. We'll just create new platforms. Fortunately, there's lots of spiritual people that are good with IT too. So don't worry about it. They're not going to silence us. But I've just been exposed to a lot of people that think like this. And those of you who found it helpful, great. Those of you who didn't, that's okay. You have the right to your opinion. But remember this, we are going into a whole new other way of being. And I've been talking about this for years. I know Lisa and Chris and Laura and Sue and all these people back in my Rhode Island, foundation crew. I've been talking about this for years. And so have a lot of people. There is a spiritual shift happening, and we've been talking about it coming, and we are in it now. This is what it looks like. It looks ugly. It's noisy. It's like a caterpillar in a cocoon. It's just going through change, and it's ugly, and it's disgusting, and it's noisy, and and it feels gross. But we are going to come out into a new way of being. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So the only thing that we can do to help make that happen, not only globally and universally, but in our own life, to make this transition easier, is to go within, go within, go within, go within, and then go within. Be love. Be love for you, man. Just anchor into the eternal peace, the calm. That's where you're supposed to find your safety, not in a belief system, because belief systems are transitory. Everything in this earth plane is transitory. It changes constantly. The one thing that's constant is change here. So you will not find safety here. Anchor into your spirituality. Anchor into the reality that you are a divine being and that you are loved and cared for. Anchor into that and just keep hanging into that spirituality, that love, and be it. That's what I'm getting back to, because I got knocked with this stuff for a few days. So I'm getting back to that. And I am going to be walking around in the reality that I create, which is love, peace, and bliss, as much as possible, with experiencing human emotions every now and then too. But I am anchoring into that. That is my main priority. And that is how we can help, because our energy is going to be different. We're going to be literally bringing love into this world. Even if you don't do anything externally, just you being a beacon of love is changing this world. So do that. And then just naturally, once you're really, really, really there, you're not going to have to find people to help. You're not going to have to figure out ways. It's just going to be natural. We're going to have inspired action flowing through us. We're just going to say the right things to the right people. We're going to buy somebody a cup of coffee when they were thinking about going and getting a gun and ending it. We're going to be inspired to do the right things at the right time in the right ways. But the only way we can do that is anchor. We have to be it. And I know everybody that's listening here, I know you guys, and I know that you guys are all spiritual. And I know you guys have huge hearts. And I know you're great people, and I know you've done a lot of spiritual work. But what I'm saying is we have to go deeper. Me included. We have to go deeper. There is so much more love that we haven't even tapped into yet. That's there. And I felt it a few times. This is part of the awakening too. It's going to be freaking, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. So the more you lean into love and being it, don't worry about living it, man. Don't worry about bringing it out into the world and helping others and all that crap. I mean, it's a nice thought, but we get so distracted with that. Don't worry about helping others. Just be it. Just be it. That's it. Just be it when you're taking a piss. Be it when you go to the grocery store. Be it when you're driving in the car. Be it inside. The rest will take care of itself, Did I just say be it when you're taking a piss? Oh, that's funny. This is how you know that I'm not in control of what's coming out of my mouth. It's just flowing, man. I don't know what the hell I'm going to say next. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for tonight. Rafi's listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments, your questions. You know where you can find me. It's very difficult. Google my name. So, and whoever you know that's calling me from Florida, stop it, man. Stop it. I can't answer calls internationally on that phone. Oh, text me, email me. All right, everybody. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, Kate. We'll give Kate a little shout out. Sweet. Sarah. Okay, well, this I have to show. I have Tiara Masu left for you. Rafi. That's my neighbor. I will eat it. All right, thank you, everybody. Gotta go. And I have to do it right. I did it right last week. Let's see if I do it right again. Okay. All right, bye, everybody. Peace out.